How's it going, guys? Welcome to episode one of One Movie After Another. I am one of your hosts, Sean Merchant, and I am here joined by my other incredible host, Joseph Curtis. Joseph, how you doing?
I am doing quite fantastic. Fun fact for you guys. I wasn't going to say this, but this is our second attempt of doing
Hmm.
this episode. But we're here. We're doing this.
Yep.
Um, Life throws curveballs, but we throw them right back at it. We're like, you know what? We're going to try it again. But
What he
honestly,
said.
it's been a good Sunday. Watched a good amount of movies this week. Some good. Some we'll talk about. But yeah, I mean, just to introduce kind of who we are, I've been doing this since like 2015, 2016 with like a small little YouTube channel, which has grown into something kind of decent. But I just love this. I love talking movies and I don't care about the growth honestly anymore. It's just I feel blessed. I feel blessed that I'm able to go see these movies and then just talk to the people that I'm talking with now. And if, doors open where the growth continues to grow, whether it's just, through even this, just the simple conversations that I have with people or friends that I meet, like you, Sean, then that's another blessing to add on. But genuinely, I've been doing this for a while and I still want to do this because I have a passion for movies and it sparked a conversation with this fine young man who, he's going to talk about himself, but this dude is amazing and I'm excited to see what this channel, one movie after another, can bring for both of us and other potential people that might want to join. Uh, George Carmi? No, I'm just unless you're interested to be a guest. But
you love George Comrie, bro. I think
dude,
I think we should do like every single week. It's like episode one, George, come on the
yep,
show. Episode two, George, come on the show. We'll see.
George,
We'll see. It
come
could
on,
it could happen.
come on, or Brock. Hey, Brock, movie talks with Brock. Come on. But
Jeremy Johns, like
Jeremy,
we know you're not busy, bro. Come on.
yeah, come on, dude. With your two
You can
million
make time for
subscribers,
us.
you
Come
can
on.
make time for us small folk. But no,
Exactly.
I just love movies. That's me. Simplest 2 minute spiel about me and my life. But Sean, let the people know who you are, how long you've been doing this, and yeah, where you're at today, bro.
Yes, sir. So I'm Sean. Most people probably know me as Cinema Blade though. And kind of like you, I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing it since actually my sophomore year of high school and actually just graduated college recently and now I'm in corporate America, so we're totally winning right now.
Come on.
But yeah, so everything going on in my life is kind of hectic, but uh, I just moved to a new city in Chicago, so I'm very excited about that. Started a new job and had my first week last week. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of great people. Had a few drinks with them on Friday, so that was fun. But yeah, so like life has kind of flipped itself upside down for me recently, just because of so many things happening. But I could not be more blessed and could not be in a better position to be talking with another fellow cinephile like
Mm,
Joseph. And this isn't just one first episode. This is the first episode of many, and many more
yep.
to come. So
Come on.
very happy about that. Hopefully, this is something that will allow us to take off a little bit more and get more involved in the movie space. I know I want to do that. I know Joseph here wants to do that. So let's do it together.
Let's do
In
it.
terms of
Let's do
in
it.
terms of what I've been watching, yeah, like I haven't. I watched a couple things. I recently watched Master of the Universe. Finally, thought it was really good. But I mean that we could go on a whole spiel about that. But I thought it was pretty solid. Definitely not as good as I thought, or definitely not as good as I wished it was. But definitely not like a train wreck or anything like that. Had a good time watching it, and Jared Leto, best performance of all time as Skeletor. So I
He was
I
the
say
MVP.
no, exactly. It was 20 minutes too long, but like if I could have 20 more minutes of him as Skeletor, I'd be like, yeah, we're chilling. So that was good. I watched that last night actually, and House of the Dragon, of course. We had episode one last week. We might do like a separate thing about it, but as of right now, we haven't decided. But I'll just say that episode one brought me right back in as a person of who didn't really like the second half of season two all that much. I mean, to be fair, this should have been the finale of season two, but
Yeah,
that's a whole other discussion for another time. We don't need to get into that. What we do need to get into,
fully
though,
agree.
is something else Millie Alcock is involved in, and that is Supergirl. So how we're gonna do this is I will ask Joseph what his rating is out of 5, and then he will go into a little bit of detail of what he thought about the movie,
Yep.
whether it's good or bad. We'll see, and then it'll be vice versa. He'll ask me if I like what my rating was out of 5, and then my brief thoughts. This will be the non-spoiler section. After that, we're gonna get more into spoilers and details, and then if you don't want to listen to that, you can check out early. But that's how we're gonna structure it. This is the first time we're doing it,
Yep.
and that is how we will be doing it for the foreseeable future for these types of reviews. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We have Supergirl 2026, directed by Craig Gillespie, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa. So, starting off with Joseph here. Joseph, what do you give Supergirl out of 5?
I'm gonna keep it brief. I give it two different scores, as in my first initial one for my first viewing was a 5. Oh, sorry, not sorry. Star rating was a 2.5 out of 5. Just thought it was average, mediocre. I don't regret seeing it. Had some fun, and then I watched it again for some reason. It was because of my friend. I originally bought the tickets for the first fan screening. I think that's what they call them for DC special movies. They did it for the Flash before, and they're doing it for Spider Man for Amazon Prime members. But I felt bad because I really wanted to refund the tickets, but then I was just like, okay, fine, I'll go watch it again. And then after the screening, we looked at each other, my friend and I, and we said, that was bad. Um, and it's a 4. It's a 4 out of 10 for me. Yet again, I don't regret seeing it. There is still fun to be had. Billy Alcock, just brief thoughts, is Supergirl. I don't know if I necessarily love what they do with her as a character for the overall story when you get to the ending. We'll get to that later. Jason Momoa is having the time of his life, even though the character can be a bit hammy at times. I still had fun with him, and to me, he was kind of just every time he showed up, the movie got a bit more exciting. Um, I like the practical effects and the costumes. I thought it was one of the worst villains I've seen in a comic book movies in recent time. Uh, I love the actor, horrible character. The side character, very forgettable, and the motivation that's supposed to be the heartbeat kind of lost me. So it's very a mixed bag experience that had some ups, but inevitably had a lot more downs for me personally. Um, so yeah, I oh, and the soundtrack, complete miss, especially for the final song. But yeah, those are my brief like minute 2 minute thoughts on it. I wanted to love it. That's the thing because I still believe in the DCU, but it just wasn't good. It brought me back to feels of Thor: The Dark World, like just generic and kind of safe. Um, yeah, and I'm kind of just sad. I'm more so sad. Not for Millie Alcock. She's gonna be fine. And even with all the mixed reviews, because it's very mixed. It's like 50-something% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critic score, 70% for the audience. But she's gonna be just fine. And Jason. But dear Lord, I'm praying for that writer right now. Don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna be for her future, but yeah, those are my thoughts, man. Now, what is your score and your just overall thoughts, feelings, things that worked, didn't work?
Yeah, so we were talking earlier. Obviously, Joseph mentioned that this is the second time we've been doing this. And so it got me thinking that after we were talking last time, and after further going over it a lot, I've settled on the score of 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. So I'm still more positive about it, but we were talking earlier, and I had a lot more things to say. Really, like it comes down to there's a couple of things that I really want to focus on. Obviously, number one, Millie Alcock. Everyone's praising her. Everyone's going crazy for her, and justifiably so. She's perfect as the character, but kind of like what you said. It's just like the way that her character is done in the movie isn't like great. Like I don't like some of the things that she does, like as a character, not Millie Alcock as her acting as the character, it's just
Yeah.
kind of baffling and kind of really weird. So I was disappointed in her character in the movie, but I was not disappointed in Millie Alcock, the actor, as Supergirl because I know like for a fact like she shows up in Man of Tomorrow or another Supergirl movie down the line, maybe she'll be perfectly fine. I think she'll be fantastic, especially in Man of Tomorrow coming soon. Because the banter that she had briefly with Superman in this was, I thought it was great. Like I thought it was really good. But for now, yeah, I just wish the movie surrounding her was better and that the character was better in the movie. But she was great. Jason Momoa obviously is Lobo. He's been trying wanting to do this for forever, and I'm glad he gets to do it now. He's not in it a whole lot, but the stuff that he's in, I think, is pretty solid, and it does open the door for more appearances from him, whether it's like kind of like this or in even a solo movie. If they did that, that'd be pretty awesome. I'd love if they made like an R-rated like thing where he's like, you know, cutting people's hands and heads off and whatnot. I think that'd be pretty sick. Get Chad Stahelski in there and make a John Wick
Ooh,
esque John Wick esque Lobo movie. I think that'd go hard. But
two thumbs up.
other yeah. But like you were saying, like you were saying it's like one of the worst comic book villains you've seen in a while. I think it's one of the worst comic book villains of all time and one of the worst just general villains probably ever.
Dang.
Like I and this is coming from someone who likes the movie a little bit more. He's just awful. Just terrible. Just no there's nothing like there for like and we were talking about this earlier and I was saying you don't need to make him like a tragic backstory or whatever, like make him relatable. Just make him like interesting, Like I talked about earlier, like I just watched Master of the Universe and Skeletor is a bad guy. There's no redeeming qualities about him. He's not a tragic character, but he's so fun to watch. He's just in, and I get it. They're two different characters. One's like a goofier, kid's toy villain, where the other one's a lot more serious and is dealing with a lot more serious stuff, which we'll get to in a second. But at the same time, like you're trying to make him as like a comic book villain, like like a Skeletor, but you're trying to make him fit in a serious story. Like it just doesn't work, and it just I also just like I know that I've never read the comic. The design of him in the movie is also terrible, and again, haven't read the comic. I thought the way that he looks in the comic is way better, and the way that he looks in the movie is just so
It's
like they're
messy.
trying to make him stand out, but like it's just forgettable and boring and trash. So he's just ugh. The more I think about him, the less I like him. And by the end of the movie, it's just like he's just I already like he's called was it
Yep.
creme of the
Creme.
whatever, creme of the
The
yellow brick
hills.
road. Who knows? Nobody knows.
Something.
He's it doesn't matter. He's so forgettable. And then going off of that, like the characters of Kara and Ruthie, like both played really well by their actors, just not good characters and do not have a good relationship together. They do not have any chemistry whatsoever. It just kind of feels like during the movie Craig is trying to mash them together so like that you feel the emotion. He's trying to force you to feel it where it's like no, you really don't feel anything from them. They're just two completely like polar opposite characters that they want you to understand the relationship, but the problem is like they never have a relationship, and by the end of it it's just kind of like oh now we're friends for no reason, like we bonded over this 3 day thing. Like it just it's so underbaked and underwhelming, and it doesn't help that the script that was given to them is just even is just not great either. Like I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Like I think there are some good moments here and there from it and the writing, but there's a lot of it that's just completely messy and tonally inconsistent, and um it just kind of it's kind of it's just kind of a mess, like whereas Superman is a lot was a lot more in line with what James Gunn is. I don't really know what this is trying to be, other than having trying to be the Woman of Tomorrow comic, except absolutely not, because they're just completely different things. For at least from what I've seen. Again, haven't read it. So, but like I said, I kind of went on a tangent there about some bad things, but I did have fun with this. I thought a lot of the action was a lot of fun. A lot of the visuals I thought were really well done. But once it gets into like the final act, the visuals kind of turn out to be crap, which sucks. But there, I still think a good chunk of this movie looks pretty great and has some really nice shots here and there with the cinematography. Thought it really does a good job of distincting itself from Superman. But again, those are things that should kind of take a backseat when you're talking about a comic book movie, because we need to really focus on the story and the characters, and it's really just not there for me. So I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. I'd be lying if I say I didn't have a smile on my face while watching this. There were some really great moments, but it's ultimately in a package that doesn't flow very well, and that does that it does come down to that, and ultimately it's just kind of disappointing. So we can get into spoilers now. So
Yep.
if you don't want to hear those, just tune out. Go do something else. Like go watch Supergirl again, or go watch Supergirl if you want to find out. So we'll be doing spoilers right now. So Joseph, anything you want to start with?
Yeah, and to clarify, I think I'm pretty sure I said 4 out of 10. I meant to say 2 out of 5 stars.
No, you're
I'm
you're good. I think you're
so
good.
Yeah, I'm so used to the 1 through 10 score. Um, but yeah, to just get into it, the pretty much the opening of the film. It's not the exact opening, but it's within moments of the opening, and it's with the character of Ruthie, where spoiler alert, clearly we're already here, but her whole family dies in front of her. And I thought it's a neat idea on paper, right? But an execution with directing and editing was atrocious. I'm not saying it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but it was not good at all, because editing is so important for a scene like that. And maybe you feel differently, but I just thought PG-13 doesn't mean it needs to be this kidified version of something. We're already into a story that deals with basically men that kidnap little girls, sex trafficking,
It's
and
child
they are
trafficking.
make
Yeah, it's
it's
child
child
sex
trafficking.
trafficking. There's
And,
no other way to put it, really.
and it's like, okay, so we can talk about that briefly, a couple moments. Not like it's the whole thing, but it's there. It's prominent. They're trying to save these, especially in the third act. They're trying to save all these women. Um, but when it comes to violence, when Krem throws the axe at the brother, he's the first to go. Uh, it is the worst jump cut editing I've seen. And then he goes to the father, then the mother, and Krem kills everybody except her for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
I
This is what we were talking about earlier. I was just like, out of all of the people, like you killed the entire family, right? Killed the entire family. First of all, your whole business is running around sex trafficking of children. There's one right there. Why didn't you take her? First of all, so
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. There's no really, never really an explanation as to why she's kept alive, and they got yeah. Why would you leave her alive? Like she was right there. Like why are you wasting your time like not killing her? I don't understand. Like you literally kill a bunch of random people for no reason the entire movie, and you're just gonna leave that specific girl alive. I mean, it could be the same thing in the comics or whatever. Like, but honestly, it would have just been better if she just wasn't there. Like, if she was like in
yeah,
town or something. Like, you'd be like, oh, my family makes weapons. Oh, go get some water, Ruthie. You'll be back in a second, and then she comes back and her whole family's dead. So then it's like, oh, we didn't know that, there was another kid, but obviously he's standing right there. He's standing
right in
in
the
the
hallway.
doorway. He's
Hmm.
standing right there. He doesn't like. I'm pretty sure he saw her. And again, like if we're going by Krem's model, he should take her and throw her to some other planet where she's being, sexually abused, basically. Not that there's really no other way to sugarcoat it. That's just
Yeah,
that's what he does. He's a
if
sex
that's the
trade.
business that he's in, and like I get it that if he's an idiot, which clearly it seems like he is, and maybe that's just the reason. He seems to be a very bad businessman in that horrible, horrible, despicable line of work. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I feel you. Like when we were talking about that earlier, I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's how did yeah. So that's not like I mean it is pretty important in the sense of what it means for Ruthie's character. It is the whole heartbeat of her character. And I guess talk about other people's uh, character arcs is Kara's, where I guess in the same way how they are supposed to connect in the script and with their performance and the character progression is that they're both angry people. One lost her family in this way, one lost her family in this way, but totally different scenarios. And I think part of me, what was hard to latch on to why Kara was angry was okay, I can get that she's alone and she's bitter that she lost everyone. Um, but this sense of like anger towards humanity and just like if anything, you had the best family ever. Like your family loved you. They taught you well. So I'm trying to be like trying to connect as much as I can because I can get it where it's like you literally lost everyone. You're alone and your cousin who you've never met until oh he's a full grown adult and he's more elite status than you. It makes you kind of feel lonely. Sure, okay, but I think that part to me was a bit lost on that sense of anger towards like other people and then you get to the whole point of her trying to keep Ruthie pure and not killing Krem. Uh, we talked about it a bit before this, but yeah, he's a bad dude. I'm sorry, but the justice system here in this galaxy probably would do a horrible job. He would probably just get out somehow, you know? So if he's got to go, he's got to go. But I don't
He's a
understand the
child
whole.
trafficker. Why would you want to keep a guy like that alive? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand.
And then at the very end of the film, they're both like, okay, I don't think we talked about this the first attempt, but the moment that she gets on the suit, dude, and let me know if you feel different, but the moment she gets the suit, like it was cool, but she only put on the suit because conveniently the yellow sun picked up because by the way, they're on like two different suns, one green, one yellow. So
Yellow.
literally the strength and the weakness for her on this one planet. Interesting, but talk about convenient. I hated that. Um, she gets better and she just has these memories replaying in her head of oh she's a good person because these people said it to her in her head and then she puts the suit on. I felt nothing. I mean it was cool to see her in the suit. I think she looks amazing in the suit. She was barely in the suit. This is false marketing, by the way. She's
No, yeah.
barely in the suit. I don't think she's ever wearing this at the same time. And I think this is like the first image that they ever showed last year of her, like the poster. Um, yeah, I felt nothing in that moment, which then leads to then, you know, she's like, Ruthie, don't do it. Don't kill Krem. She doesn't do it. Yay, she's pure of heart now. And then Kara literally stabs him once in the chest, then the throat, and you don't even see any blood. Like there's not even a hole in his throat.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's PG-13, but come on. I
Make
like
some effort. Put like a
like
put
make
like a black marker across his neck and just be
something, yeah,
like
like dude, like this
some
dude's clearly like an alien robot cyborg dude, something like
yeah. There's
that.
exceptions for that. Like he's or you know what he could have done is you know how he's got that vocal cord in there just like
Yep.
that. Just take it right out. Like because then we would have
Oh,
all been like. I think that would have been pretty cool. I just
that
thought of
would have
that
been.
actually. I totally forgot that he had that. But like her jumping off of you is like her whole thing. I just didn't buy like her. Oh, I'm gonna come back and you know like by the end of the movie. Like honestly, is she a better person than she was before? Not really. Like she's kind of the same, just in the super suit. You know,
She's just
like
less of a drunk.
yeah, she has her powers now, and like what did she do this for the good of herself or the good of Ruthie? No, I don't think so. Because, like, she getting redemption for what? Like, Krem didn't do anything to her. She did it. He did it to Ruthie, and like I get like it's like oh I couldn't stop Krypton from dying or having my people die, but I can stop this monster from continuing to ruin other people's lives. And it's like, yeah, that's great. Why not like say that or show that? Like be like, "Oh, I just like she's a drunk, she's a recluse, she doesn't want anything to do with anybody." And then by the end she's super, but then she also gets drunk again and she's also kills the guy, but like doesn't really feel anything for him and doesn't really care about Ruthie's family. Like and and it's just so disappointing, and it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense as to why you wouldn't just at least mention or try and make some effort to show like, hey, she was obviously this way at the start where she's a drunk and she doesn't want anything to do with anybody, and then by the end she realizes like with this great power comes great responsibility, and she has the responsibility to be a good person and try and help those that can't help themselves. And in
Yeah.
this case, Ruthie is trying to get revenge for her family, for her whole family getting murdered, and obviously Kara can relate to that because her whole family got killed except for Clark, who's on Earth, and she couldn't stop that, and this is something that she can stop as well. She can stop this cycle of violence from continuing with this singular person, and maybe he doesn't like she doesn't kill him or just throws him in jail or something. I don't know. All I know is that the way they did it in the movie is just not great, and it just is. It's just kind of baffling how you get these decisions from creators like Craig Gillespie. Like Craig is a great director. Like he's done really well with female centric movies like I Tanya and Cruella, and then a few years ago, this isn't a female centric movie, but Dumb Money. Like it was a
Great movie.
very solid movie that had some really good arcs in it as well. And so I just like he had this attitude of creating a blockbuster movie as an indie movie. He's talked about that multiple times, and in this case, it just seems like he didn't really know what kind of movie he was making, even though he has the source material at his fingertips. It's based off a highly acclaimed graphic novel. I can only imagine how the people who've read that feel, because I really, I don't know, but like, and this is all coming from someone who kind of had fun with this. Like, this is not someone who thinks this is the worst thing ever. I don't think it's nearly as bad as Thor: The Dark World. I think that's a way overreaction. But the villain in Thor: The Dark World is a lot better than the villain in Supergirl. I'll say that. I think that's a fair argument. But just on an emotional standpoint and script standpoint, and we were talking earlier, this is the first like time this writer has worked on a movie like this or in a movie
Yep.
in general, and
Anna
it's just
Nagara.
like yeah, and like God bless her, God bless the work she does. This just wasn't it, and I feel
Yeah.
like she had to have somebody with her that was going to keep her in line. And the even though James Gunn says, "Oh, we won't do it until the script is ready," it's like, yeah, okay, just because a script was turned in doesn't mean it's ready. I think that's what he means. Instead of like, "Oh, it's got to be perfect," it's like, no, I think it just needs to be done. I think that's just
But
it.
this kind of like segueing to what you're saying, like James Gunn needs to decide, okay, are you gonna just focus on being the leader of DC, or do you want to direct these movies? Because if you want to do that, I think you need to find somebody else to step in for like being like
The
co-leading
creative,
with Peter Safran. Like it,
CCO.
yeah, you can't do both. And now even with just two movies and two shows, we're about to have three with Lanterns. We're kind of already seeing the cracks, and not even in the beginning of the MCU we had cracks. I feel like this massive within the first couple movies, couple projects. Because yeah, like you were saying, like, oh, we got to make sure the scripts are great or scripts are right. Okay, you said it was incredible last year, James. And when you say that, you cannot get mad at fans for being like, oh my gosh, it's James Gunn saying that. The guy who gave us Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, I'm so in. You got the guy who directed I, Tanya. That's why there was so much hype. It's like this dude knows how to direct female led movies. and just movies in general, like pretty solid films. Like his weakest one was probably Cruella, but I still liked that movie a lot. This, without a doubt, his worst one. I think it's his worst
Yeah.
one. And it sucks to say that because I thought it would be like, I don't know, I wasn't going to say like the best or top two, but maybe like his third or fourth. But it really is disheartening to see that. But now with James Gunn, I just don't know if he can manage both of these roles. Like I know he's gonna do an amazing job with Man of Tomorrow. Like I feel like that's going to be a very solid film. Clearly better than this one. Maybe it won't be as good as Superman 1. I hope it is, and I love Superman 1. But right now, I think he really has to figure that out. Like, where is your mindset? Are you 60% a director and 40% over here on this side and still trying to map things out and be a visionary leader and make sure phase one, Gods and Monsters, I think that's what it's called, is good? Because I'm a little nervous, but I still have faith in his vision. I'm not like, wow, guys, the gun is jammed, which clearly is what a lot of people are going to say.
Yeah.
But I still have faith in him. I don't know. Like what are your thoughts on that for him and where he's currently at DC and what do you think they might even be feeling right now? Because I feel like I'd be like, oh gosh, that did not go the way we expected.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, you can't be the head coach and the GM of the same team.
Yep.
It's just not viable because you're either going to spend too much time doing something that doesn't like you're gonna spend too much time directing movies versus actually spending time creating this world, and like I guess it's a little bit more lenient because it's an already established IP with DC, but at the same time, like this is a whole new world you're building. Like you're taking different elements from different DC product projects from over the years and kind of putting them into one universe. And it's a lot of ambition, and it's I think James Gunn can do a really good job at that. But right now, I just feel like once Man of Tomorrow happens, he's got to just stop directing. Like no matter what, like no matter how badly he wants to make Superman 3 or something, I think he's just got to just time out. Like take like 5 or 6 years off of directing. Just focus on the creative. We got to get to Justice League at some point. Let's get there. Got to get Batman. We got to get Wonder Woman. We got to get uh, whoever Green Arrow. I don't know. Just the Flash. We got to get all these established characters in there, and we got to get to a Justice League movie. I'm not saying we need it right now. I'm just saying like in time this is all going to Justice League. We all know that. But it just feels like he's so focused on doing his own projects that he's not doing a good job of overseeing the whole creative process with all these different projects working at the same time. And like I get it. Yeah, we also have Peter Safran but he's on the business side. He's on the financials. He's not working with the directors. He's not working with the writers in the same way that James Gunn is. I'm sure he's still on set. I'm sure he's still talking to them, but he's not on that same wavelength as James Gunn is because James Gunn is the creative. He's this creative officer. He's the chief creative officer, and he's not doing that. So
Yeah.
I feel and going on for the future of DC, I don't think this is not gonna be that big of a deal. I mean, like we had like you mentioned the MCU. The second movie after Iron Man was the Incredible Hulk, and the Incredible Hulk was not great. Like I like it's not terrible, but it's not great. And that's kind of how I feel about
I
Supergirl.
think it's a little underrated, honestly. I don't know when's the last time you've watched it, but it for what it was back then and just looking at overall comic book movies, it's kind of fun. I miss that version of Hulk. I'll say it like that. I miss that, like specifically that kind of design and craziness of Hulk. Um,
Yeah.
and it seems like we're gonna get craziness in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. But I mean, yeah, I get that it's not that great of a movie though. But honestly, putting these up against each other, Incredible Hulk any day over Supergirl, at least in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying like if we look at the two because this is like the only other than the DCEU which started off with Man of Steel and then went to Batman vs Superman like that that's a whole different ballpark. But
Oh, and
The best,
that's
the
a
best.
discussion you and I can have on the side, my friend, because I love those movies. But
I'll save
that's
my
another.
thoughts. I'll save my thoughts for another time. But my opinion, I guess my comparison is because the MCU is the most successful and the one that really started it all. And when you
Yeah.
look at how it started, you got Iron Man, which is a classic, a beloved classic that started off the universe great. And then you look at DC, the DCU. We got Superman, did a good job of starting everything off. I had a lot of fun with it. Don't think it was as good as Iron Man, I would say, but I think Iron Man and Superman both did the same thing that they wanted to do, which was
Yep.
establish a universe and have the opportunity to build from there. And then you get the Incredible Hulk, and then you get Supergirl. And I haven't seen the Incredible Hulk in a while, but like I'm not. It's not a bad movie at all. I think it is better than Supergirl, but you could say the same thing about that you could say about Supergirl, where it's like I don't think anybody like you could ask somebody if they've seen the Hulk movie and they'd be like, "There's a Hulk movie," and you could be like, you could ask the same thing to somebody like, "Did you see the Supergirl movie?" and they'd be like, "There's a Supergirl movie." So
Yep.
honestly, I just think this is going to be a movie that people are just not going to remember in like T minus 2 seconds, as Jeremy John says. Like it's like he already forgot. We already forgot. Like it's
Yeah.
really and like just going down the line, I think they're going to learn from their mistakes. They're going to, they're not going to back off of their plan, but they're going to look really hard at what they have coming and see what needs to work more, and what they have coming up, and just just flesh everything out a little bit better and make sure what they're delivering is the best product they can. Again, not saying they need to scrap everything and start over, or go in a completely different direction. Just keep going the same direction. This was a bit of a bump, but just keep going, and I'm sure it's going to be smooth sailing from after that. Again, we still have Lanterns and Clayface
Yep.
this year, which
And I think
both
they're going to
look
be
great.
great. I think they're
They
both
both
going to be
look
great.
great. Yeah, they both look great, especially Clayface. I think Clayface looks very unique, very body horror, and something completely different, but also in the same universe. And I think that's really cool. Will it make a bunch of money? Probably not, but like if it turns out to be really good, like I'm sure a lot of people will come out to see it. Like kind of like how they did
Yeah.
for the first Joker movie, but that's neither here or there. So I guess overall, I think we're both feeling the same way. A bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Obviously,
But
you
dude,
are
we
a
got
little
to
bit
talk
more.
about this real quick before we move on to some money talk.
Yeah.
That needle drop.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, we can't forget about that. Before we get to that, just super brief. I wish I cared more about the connection between Crypto and Kara and Supergirl. They did a great
Yeah.
job establishing Crypto and Superman, but I never really bought into their relationship because they made an editing mistake. They showed us their growth in like the middle, near closer to the third act of the film. Um, and then I got the motivation, but it just, when we got to the moment where Crypto gets shot by Krem, I felt bad in the sense of, oh no, a dog got shot and I love Crypto. But seeing the emotional impact and weight it put on Kara, it just felt like, oh, I gotta go save my dog. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I never fully went along the ride for her. And when you pair in, little Ruthie, which by the way, does she know how to fight? Because it seems like she knows how to fight. And they never once mentioned that her father trained her. I'm not trying to say that she can't. She can. Do you, girl? But when she destroys that dude that's like 3 times the size of her, I was a little bit appalled. I'm like, wait, when did we ever learn that she was like in training to like fight? And when I watched it again, I was really waiting for a scene with the dad being like, yes, and my daughter who is trained in the ways of the sword. Nope. She just can do it because she has a sword, and her daddy made swords.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it
like.
makes sense to me.
Yep. Sorry, I had to bring that up because that has been annoying me and my wife too. When she watches, she's like, she can just like fight this like
Yeah.
400-pound dude. Okay, whatever. But yeah, the Crypto stuff. Wish I felt it more, but the needle drop, bro.
Yeah. We everyone's talking about it. It's not good. Like
It's
out of
not.
all the songs, and I know we talked about it earlier on how James Gunn was the one to make the final decision with We had 45 different songs. We had
45
45.
songs.
When you're going through 45 different songs, I feel like at that point you should just not do a song. I feel like you should just stick with the score because the whole scene is this giant action scene where it's like, oh, Kara is going ape shit. Like
Yep.
she's mowing everybody down.
Yep.
Why are we playing a cover of The Middle by some random chick band that
It
nobody
just
knows?
takes
And it
some
just sounds,
time.
yeah, there's no like it's trying to be like, oh, it's she's a girl. It's like, no shit, she's a girl. It's called Supergirl, for God's sake. Like, there's no need for that to be like, just make it the score because the score itself was actually pretty good. Like, I don't think anything, like, it wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but like, am I gonna sit here and say it was bad? No, it was good. And they try to have that Supergirl theme, or honestly, you know what they could have done? Like, they could have done, because it's in the trailers the whole time. Why not just do "Call Me" by
Yeah.
like why not, or like do like an epic version of that? Like,
Did they
I know
ever play
everyone
that song in
hates.
the movie? I just
I don't think
realized
so.
that.
No. Why
Fumble.
even have
And
it in the marketing? What's the point?
here's the thing too. Here's the thing too, bro. You're speaking of the score. Rumors are they went through 3 different composers for this movie,
Yeah.
and I can
Yeah.
tell. I can
Yeah.
tell.
I
It
heard that
just
too.
like it's a score by Claudia. That's my mother's name. So respect to you, Claudia, composer. I love that. It's a beautiful name. Uh, and I agree with you. I thought the score was like serviceable. It fit the scenes that it needed to fit, but I never was like, wow, I can't wait to get my phone out after the screening, go to Spotify. Yes, I'm a Spotify guy, and download the album or that one specific song like Look Up on the Superman
Yeah.
soundtrack. I love Look Up. I listen to that on repeat.
Yeah.
Like I know the name of the songs. I will never go back to this score. I thought it was fine yet again. Like I actually thought it was decent, not bad at all. But it was there, like how you were describing the movie. It's forgettable. Like yeah, I watched it. I'm just not going to remember. And that is such a to this symbol. To this symbol right here. A score like that, like no, we need to like actually make this moment count. Like this isn't just some normal character. This is the first time we're having on this kind of scale with this amount of budget for Supergirl. Sure, there was the CW show.
We don't need to talk about that.
We don't
That's
need to
not
talk about it. I love
not a real thing.
Melissa. I love Melissa. She's a great person, a great actress. But that show, but here I just think the character deserved more attention to like those specific moments. And I agree. I think they could have used the song they were bashing us in the head with for the marketing, but they don't even use it. It had a great shot of when Supergirl was lifting up the tank. But what took me out after she lasered the dude? It just takes some time, little girl. You in the middle of the. Shh. I'm like, no. What? Like, hey, it's funny.
It's so
I,
bad. Oh my
I
god.
like the song. Like, I was like, huh, this is kind of a cool. Wait, this doesn't match this at all. That was actually what was happening in my head. I'm like, I like this song. Why are we playing this?
Like, it would have been way better for like a bonding moment, like for
Mm,
with Kara and Ruthie. Like, well, that's like a perfect bonding song, especially the way that the cover goes. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like the original by Jimmy Eat World, which is like, it's a lot more. It just takes some time living it like that. It's a lot softer. It's a lot more held back as
Arguably,
much.
they could have used the original, and it probably would have fit maybe a bit more because it was just grungier. It needed a song that had a little bit more like style,
Need a
like
little bit more
this.
oomph.
Yeah, like this whole aesthetic here with the symbol is like it's all graffiti, so it's giving off vibe that Supergirl is a bit different than
It's got to be
Superman.
more punk rock. Punk rock.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't feel that. I agree with you though. I think they could have utilized that and maybe the goodbye scene where they really don't say goodbye. I don't know, like just they didn't need that, and it shows that they really were going through so many different songs. So to me, what that said was Craig filmed this moment without even knowing what he wanted to like have played out.
Yeah.
I'm not a director. I'm not gonna act like it's easy, but I feel like that's not a right way to approach filming a scene like that. Like knowing James
Yeah.
Gunn, he maps out things. He probably already knows. Like he has a whole like set list of music that he loves to go through, and I'm pretty sure he strategically picks out stuff. So yeah, it makes sense. No wonder why James Gunn probably like looked at all the songs, was like, these all suck. Um, I
Yeah.
like this one though. Okay, now I gotta go talk to my boy David and Nicholas. And now they're
You
gonna
do
go
you,
be,
Craig. Do whatever you
yeah,
gotta do, Craig. I don't
you
care.
guys got this. I believe
That's
in
the
you.
problem. That's the problem. It's just he's not focused on the universe as a whole. He's focused on Man of Tomorrow, which is fine. I'm sure Man of Tomorrow is going to be great. It's just when you're building a universe and you yourself are the creative officer who's running this whole ship, why aren't you focusing on trying to build that universe up? So I don't know, but what was I going to say? I was going to say there was something else I had in my head, but I can't
The
remember. Oh,
score.
what I was going to say. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
This is kind of I'm just the thing I'll take away from this though, this whole thing is that I'm glad this is happening now and not later.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that they will learn from this. They will make sure that all of this is rectified going forward. And I mean, realistically, this movie doesn't really play a huge part in the universe as a whole. So it's not like there's any giant consequences. So if you really like, if you go from Superman, skip Supergirl, and then go into Man of Tomorrow, you're not missing anything, honestly. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna be totally fine. So, in that regard, I think it's fine. I just, obviously, I wish there was a better movie out of it, and we would have started off on a better note. But I'm just happy these mistakes are happening now. Not to say I'm happy about mistakes, but I'm glad that they're able to recognize what's working and what's not, and how to
Oh
move
yeah.
forward from that.
And James Gunn is going to learn. He's not going to be somebody. He actually listens to the fans. Like he literally talks to them on threads or whatever, social platform where people randomly comment something, and he'll actually communicate. He
Yeah.
is somebody that wants to, appease us. And also at the end of the day, he doesn't want to appease us too much because he first needs to listen to himself as a creator and and,
Yeah.
and what he feels like this is where the character should go. And I totally respect that. Um, so I think he's going to do his best of, okay, I'm going to block out all that negativity that's clearly not about the movie. It's about some other dumb agenda that I don't want to see a Supergirl movie. Yeah, all those haters, shut up. But the people that
Well, she
actually
gets the
have,
shit beat out of her the whole movie, so those guys must be happy.
like, yes, yes, this is perfect. Wait, she wins?
Yes.
But
Woke.
then you actually have the side that's actually critical. That actually has brain cells and knows how to look at a movie instead of just saying it was mid and those are all their thoughts. Like people actually have issues with this. And even the people that like it, I guarantee there's people that love this movie that probably have a couple of issues. Like they're like it's a 9
It's
out of
me.
10, but that obviously means there's
Literally
some
me.
room. And even
Like
you, yes.
like
You have
I
some
had fun
issues.
with this movie. I had a good time. Like I'm not I was smiling during it. But like there's so much I can't just ignore issues when I see them. Like I go into a movie because it's an experiential event. What did I how did I feel while watching it? And like the best I can say is that I had a good time with it, just not a great one. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of problems, and there's a lot of reasons why.
Well, speaking of that word, not great. You want to talk about the box office and wrap it up here? Because it's
Yeah,
not looking too great this weekend.
no, not at all. So for those who haven't heard, this is kind of coming out recently as of Sunday, June 28th. The box office for Supergirl is looking at $38 million domestically and $68 million globally. Putting that into perspective, the movie costs like $170 million to make. I don't even think that's including marketing. So,
No.
long story short, really bad, really
Yep.
bad. And like we were talking earlier, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's even gonna. I don't think it's gonna even get close to Mandalorian and Grogu, and that movie hasn't made that much money either. I mean, like it's got over 300 million, but like still, like that, it's just so it just but it does it opens a lot of discussion of like Superman made 600 something $1 million, pretty good for a good like a starter movie. Superman, honestly, Superman doesn't really make that much money, but that's fine because most of the movies are pretty good. But this is like kind of the tester, right? It's not James
Yeah.
Gunn, it's not Superman. Is it something that people care about? And unfortunately, since it's not the greatest movie, people don't really care. They're not going to be wasting their time going out to the movie theater to go see a movie that they might not even like. I mean, that's the risk anyone's taking when they go to the movies. But when you have so many people saying like it's mediocre, it's fine, they're not going to waste their time and waste their money to go see a movie that's just fine. Like they want to go for an experience, and that's just what you're miss. That's what's missing with this movie, and like again, I would still recommend this movie. I would say people should go see it. It's fun. If you want to go with the family, go with the family. I mean, obviously there's a lot of darker themes in the movie, but it's a fun ride to just turn your brain off for like an hour and 40 minutes. But don't get your hopes up for the greatest, superhero movie of all time or just even a great one or hell even a good one. It's just it's just such a serviceable movie that, but again, in by next week no one's going to be talking about this. I guarantee you the box office drop off is going to be horrible. Horrible. It might not
I mean,
even make it to 150 million. i'm i'm
I
i'm calling that right now.
honestly, yeah, it's not gonna do well second weekend, I think, because at first I was like, well, nothing's really coming out besides everyone's favorite Young Washington by Angel Studios. I love you,
Yeah,
Angel
that's going to
Studios.
make
Thank
a
you.
$1 billion in the first weekend.
250th anniversary. Come on, America. But
250 million dollars.
come on. I believe in you. Let's sell out all the theater seats.
Yes.
Their marketing is so weird. For whenever they do stuff like that, it's like, yeah, buy the tickets, and nobody's in the theaters because people are donating.
Okay, well,
And
I won. I bought the entire theater, so like I think I'm helping out pretty well.
so Angel Studios, thank you. Say thank you to this guy right here.
Yeah,
But
I
no, but
bought I
seriously,
bought the
Angel
whole
Studios.
theater.
I do appreciate you guys sending me screeners. Like I really do. I did not like that movie though. But I appreciate that you guys still, I guess, like me. But uh, yeah, I thought it was just that, and then I realized I'm watching Minions tomorrow because Minions is coming into theaters Wednesday. That movie is
Oh
going to
my
make
god, I forgot
uh,
about that.
that
Yeah,
movie's going to make
Supergirl's screwed. Supergirl's
Supergirl
so screwed.
is screwed because then after that you got Moana. You got also for adults Evil Dead Burn, and then after that the Odyssey, and then there's probably something
Spider
else.
Man.
Spider
Spider
Man, yeah,
Man.
it's two
Hello.
weeks. It's just I don't know what's coming out the 24th, but yeah, July's
Spider
gonna be
Man.
packed. No, that's the 31st. Something else is coming out in between the Odyssey and Spider Man. I just don't know what. I'm trying to remember on the
Are you
24th.
sure? Because I looked it up and I thought it was Spider Man. I thought Spider Man
Trust
came out
me.
in the 20. Oh, because you
Trust
have the
me.
screener. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
That and also I also I'm like everybody else who's got Amazon Prime. I bought my Amazon Prime early screening tickets for the July 29th. So
All right. All
very
right. Just
excited for
say
that.
you're
Thank
just
you.
say you're better than everybody. Okay. Just stop
I
it.
have Amazon Prime. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I got
I
Prime.
am Amazon Prime,
I
and
love their
I
shipping.
send this message to all Amazon customers.
To you, Jeff Bezos. Thank you.
Yes. Give me free
Even
Amazon
though
Prime.
even though you're a very interesting character, Jeff. But yeah, to go back to the whole money business, money talk. Supergirl is screwed because normally with superhero movies, they are like their largest number always is opening weekend, and it will always typically if it's
Uh,
unless it's like an amazing film, the drop off might drop to like 50 to 60%. But I mean, shoot, Spider-Man.
this might be
I think.
80, man. This
Oh
is
yeah,
might be 80.
because No Way
Minions is
Home.
a money cow.
Oh yeah, dude. Because like No Way Home, which made all the money opening weekend, like 200 and something or 190, it had like a 70% drop off, but it still made like 80, 70 something $1 million. So it's like, okay, it doesn't really matter at that point. It's making all the money.
It
This,
almost made $2 billion too, like
yeah,
just in total.
this is going to probably cap between 150 to 225. That's my guess, to be generous.
That's
I
yeah, that's a good estimate, I would say.
because like here's the thing, Superman. The reason why it was successful wasn't internationally, it was domestically. People kept on going back to it. Yeah, it made some money internationally, but that tells you something about Superman as a character. Supergirl, arguably, I would say, is not as popular as Superman. I think that's a fair thing to say. Superman is probably more of a popular character. He's one of the first, and then came Supergirl. So you're telling me this movie didn't even make half the amount that Superman did opening weekend, and worldwide, it's $68 million, which means internationally it only pulled 22 million. Granted, I don't know if all of the international markets have opened yet, like China and France, and I don't know. I don't know. But I bet a decent amount have opened. I'm
Yeah.
willing to bet.
I don't think this movie. I think you have the right ratio. You got 150 to 225. I think that's where it's gonna land. I'm guessing it's gonna land somewhere between like 180 and maybe 190 total. But like it's just bad. Like there's no way it's gonna get eaten alive by minions. Like no matter what
Yep.
you think of the movies, like even Despicable Me 4 that came out a couple years ago was like not great. That almost hit $1 billion. Like
Yep.
it's not. It's ugh. It's just it's sad. It's very
It needs to
sad.
make 400 million. I think bare minimum it needs to make 400 million to break even.
Yeah,
And
that's not happening. There's no
it's
way.
because you have to throw in how at least I calculate it. It's whatever the budget is times 2.5,
Yeah,
and that's around the ballpark of the break even point when you're getting into profitability. And right now,
not
I
happening.
just don't.
No
It's
way.
not going to happen. There's too many other movies on people's minds. Uh, Gas is now finally starting to come down, so people are now, maybe getting a little bit more comfortable with spending their money, maybe driving to the theaters now rather than streaming stuff. Because it's been hard these last couple months. Things have just been expensive.
Yeah.
Um, and then you're telling people like you think people are gonna go back and rewatch this after the word of mouth it's gotten, or people for the first time are gonna go watch it after the word of mouth? Like, no,
Not happening.
and I bought this shirt. So anybody who thinks that I'm like a freaking Warner Brothers shill, I love Warner Brothers. They're one of my favorite studios. Um, A24 is still number one for me, but I bought this with my own money because I believed in this movie. I still believe in the character. I believe in Millie. I believe in James. I even believe in Craig. I think Craig is a great director still. I just think he had a bad day at the office. And that's
Yeah.
okay. People, it's called grace. And then you move on to the next project. I don't think he should never direct. Like, he can direct. He is still a good director. I think he just got lost in the sauce of a summer blockbuster and didn't really know what to make of it with this really script that had bones, but it needed more meat. It had the
Yeah.
bones, but it was missing some of that meat to actually bring some sustenance, at least in my opinion. Because it was
Yeah.
there. Props to you, Anna. This is your first time writing a movie like this. That is a huge achievement, more than any I've ever had in my lifetime.
Hmm.
Um, and I believe in you. I believe that you can do this because it wasn't the worst script I've ever heard in my life. I just think you needed more time. But yeah, dude, I just for DC, I don't think it's the end. There's some people that are going to be like, it's the end of DC. It's one movie that has turned into a flop. I don't think Peter Safran and James Gunn are worried that David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers, at least for right now, because Paramount and Warner Brothers right now, I don't think they're worried about their future boss at Paramount that's going to fire them. I think
Yeah.
they hit something and now they're going to learn from it. It's not going to cost them. Now if this happened to Superman, oh
That would
yeah,
suck.
I
It's
think
over.
that would screw yeah, like your first outing and it's 50%, audience score is a little bit lower, it's a huge financial drop off from first weekend to second weekend, like yeah, then they're cooked. But right now, they're still good. They're not even
It's
just
just
yeah,
a
they're not
bump in the road.
yeah, like to me, DC was at a great point. I think from what we've gotten now, they're at a good point. Like it's still strong. They're stable, but oh boy, if Lanterns isn't good, if Clayface isn't good, and then if Man of Tomorrow isn't good, that's when I'd say I think James Gunn might be in trouble. Like if he has
Yeah.
three more on that, shoot, I'll even say this. If Lanterns is as good as this and the same for Clayface, still have hope for Man of Tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people would be speculating maybe James Gunn won't be lasting there as long.
Yeah.
Because you like one mistake, sure, but three in a row in one
Hell,
year,
you could also say the ending of Peacemaker too, because the ending of Peacemaker was kind of disappointing, at least in
very
my
weak,
eyes.
weak finale. I would still give season two a pretty great score, like a 7.5. I think it was gonna be like a 9. It was so close to being a really amazing season, and then they just kind of fumbled the bag. Like there was some great emotional stuff for John Cena to work with, like that scene with his brother getting at. I guess spoilers. It's been out for a while, but John Cena gave some of his best work, so that's why I give some grace for that season. Even though I had a weird music video finale with James
Yeah.
Gunn's favorite band, it's the music. James, you need to chill on the music, my dude.
Yeah.
Um, like tone
It's
it
either
down.
you make great decisions or you make terrible music decisions. But I I think he's the best at what he does with music, but then he'll do some crap like that and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just
Yeah.
wasting people's time. Like don't waste people's time. Make people actually care. Don't get they're not stupid. People aren't
Yep.
stupid. They know what's good and what's not. There's reasons why some movies are classics, and then there's some reasons why movies are garbage. And people are not stupid, and their critics aren't going to be like, "Oh, they just didn't understand it." It's like, no, like they understood it, they just didn't like it. They just don't like it, and like I said, you don't need to do a massive course correction. We don't need to bring back Zack Snyder. We just need to just understand what's coming up next, know what works right now, but fix the kinks that don't. And Supergirl is something that just didn't work. And that's okay because
Yep.
there's a lot more DC to come, and we haven't even gotten Batman yet. We haven't even gotten Wonder Woman yet. I think we're going to be fine. So,
Yeah.
all in all, yeah, I think we were both disappointed in it. But again, we both agree. I think in better hands, Supergirl will be just fine. Lobo will be just fine.
Yep.
Everything should be fine. This is just a bit of a hiccup, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. We got Lanterns, we got Clayface the rest of this year, and then Man of Tomorrow, and then I think Creature Commando season 2 is coming as well. So we'll see. But yeah, that's that. Those are our thoughts on Supergirl. Both a little disappointed. I had fun with it, but Joseph not so much, which is okay. It's all subjective, but that will. Unless you have anything else to say, I think that'll wrap up our first episode.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's Supergirl. Let us know. Did you like it? Do you feel the same way that Sean feels, that I feel? Please let us know. This is a community podcast. It's not just us talking. We want to talk with you guys. And we understand this is a small family right now, but we believe it's going to grow into a beautiful, diverse family for everyone to talk about movies and shows and maybe better music choices and films.
Hmm.
So here's to the future of DC and to the future of one movie after another. Thank you guys for being here, and we will see you at the movies.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better. Thank you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.